Hello, everybody. Welcome to Podnutz Daily, episode 339. Um, my name's Eric Ardini. I'll be hosting the show today. Today, we got a great special guest from our friends to the north. It's Chris Berry from Technology Adventures. You've probably seen him on other great podcasts. I think it's on the Geeksters. Is that right? Geeksters.tv,
Yep, that's right.
Chris? So we find that?
Yeah, geeksters.tv, and I used to be on Nuts at Night. And I think we should call this Podnutz at Night
He's
because
been on Podnutz at night. He's also on the Unbootables. And I'm not sure exactly where you can go to find the Unbootables right now. Is it
geeksters.tv.
unbootables.com?
Hang on.
Okay, all right.
Can you hear Chris, Eric?
I cannot hear him at all.
Oh, that would explain.
Yeah, I was wondering. I was like,
could,
wow,
I've
Eric's
been
going to
totally
be the
started.
jerk.
Was he talking?
Yeah.
Chris, how about now?
Can you hear me, Eric?
I can now, yeah.
Oh, sorry about that, dude. I was wondering why. I'm like, it sounds like Eric can't hear.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I was like, wow, he's being kind of a jerk. I said it like 4 times.
I'm going to try that later. Let's see how that goes.
All right.
We got to keep that. You don't edit that, man. That should be the beginning. This should be the beginning.
Oh, boy. The beginning of the... Yeah.
You wanted to start it from the beginning, Eric?
Yeah, I totally forgot now what I said. No, that's cool. Yep.
Okay. And we'll have 2 takes then, so whatever the best one is, we'll do.
Okay.
All right. Go ahead. Start whenever you're ready.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Podnutz Daily, episode number 339. My name is Eric Ardini. I'll be your host today. Today, we got a great special guest from our friends to the north in Canada. His name is Chris Berry, and he is with technologyadventures.com. He's also a podcast regular on great podcasts such as Podnuts at Night and The Unbootables. Where can people find The Unbootables, by the way, right now, Chris?
Geeksters.tv.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, definitely check that out. If anybody who is watched the Podnuts at Night shows before, go there and check it out. It's more of the same, but better because they are a little crazier than they probably were before. And, you know, sometimes they're afraid of things, but not too often. So, Chris,
Yeah, it's a fun show. We like it. It's doesn't have an R rating, but I'd definitely say PG-13.
Yeah. Yeah, more of the same of before you got, and it's Steve D'Amico's on there with you. Who else? Who else do you have on there?
William from Liam Tech once in a while. And then yeah, it sort of just moves around. There's the other Eric there too is on it. It's fun. And once now that Steve's gone, he's like the babysitter, so we can just do whatever we want.
Babysitter's out of the room. You guys have your own things you can do now. Yeah, it's a nice place to kind of chill from your day of technology and just kind of kick back. And it's just a neat little podcast like that.
Yeah, I'm excited for today because all I ever bring up on that is Podnutz specific stuff, like Podnutz daily specific stuff. The computers I'm using or the calls I've had or all the stuff that's going on in my day. And the other guys bring up, weird videos and cats puking and things of that nature. But this isn't going to be like that. This is going to be all tech.
Yeah, your day-to-day stuff you should save for Podnuts Daily. Yeah, your technology wisdom. Save that for here, and then just your craziness save for there. That makes sense. So what do you want to bring today, Chris?
Yeah, so I thought I'd start off with a couple just like tales of the trenches. Nothing too much. I've been crazy busy over the last 2 months, like December and January have been really, really busy, and October and November weren't too busy, but there's so many stories out there from other guys that I'm not going to concentrate too much on my stories. Just stuff I haven't heard from other guys. And then a little later, we'll do a little more business-centric stuff, the things that I enjoy talking about more, which are how to make money and increase your revenues and new avenues to make money. And yeah, so if you want, I can do the first little thing I got going here. So the first one I got is just I've been in business now long enough that I'm starting to see some warranty stuff on the new computers I'm selling, or just out of warranty stuff. So computers I sold, maybe a year and a half ago. People are calling me with the odd little problem. I had a really weird one. It was like last weekend I went and saw this customer, and they said their computer was just randomly freezing and then coming back to life. So it was a Windows 7 rig, a triple core AMD, 4 gigs of RAM, 1 terabyte hard drive. So it shouldn't be freezing. You know, it's plenty fast, lots of power. And every once in a while they'd be doing something, and boom, they'd get the little, you know, green Windows circle that just spins and spins and spins. And then the computer would come back to life. Maybe 4 minutes it would freeze for. So I remoted in, did all the normal stuff. It was, you know, just did quick malware scans, made sure Windows is up to date, made sure they weren't running any crazy programs in the background. And there's a few little things like, you know, the weather bug and stuff like that people put on. So I removed all that garbage. They said their iTunes was freezing. I said, yeah, that's just iTunes. There's not a lot we can do about that on Windows. And no malware. Did what's that tool we use for tune-ups? Oh, geez, I don't even. It's a registry cleaner and a temporary file cleaner. Thank you, CC cleaner. Ran that. Normal, nothing too big. Everything was good, and it just every maybe 5 minutes it would just totally randomly freeze. So,
and you were seeing this as you were remoted in then?
I was just, it was so weird. I haven't really seen much like that. If I had, it was more like maybe a graphics card was at a bad cap in it, or maybe a bad power supply, but then it would usually freeze and just go right out. You know, you wouldn't be able to get her back. It would just die, right? So I had to go out there. So I drove out there, saw the customer. They're about 30 minutes away from me. Not a big deal, but when I saw they're still doing it, took the computer, opened it up, looked for any bad capacitors. It was a nice Antec case. I sold them. I always sell almost always the Sonata 3 with that nice Antec 500 watt power supply. So it's good solid stuff, not garbage. Yeah, I couldn't believe it. Just still doing it. I couldn't figure out what was wrong with this thing. So I said, I'm gonna have to take this back to my shop. So I took it back to my shop. And when I got here, plugged it in, and then all of a sudden it said, no master boot record found on my computer screen. I was like, what the heck? Opened it up, and there was a second hard drive in there, which I remember putting in. That was their old hard drive that we were just putting in there for backup purposes. So I said, oh, maybe that drive's dying. Pulled it out. Still nothing. No master boot record found. Went in. It was trying to boot from that drive. So somehow the BIOS changed over and was trying to boot from the secondary drive instead of the first drive. So no big deal. Okay, so I put it back, you know, boot from main drive. Boom, computer booted up, but still spinning wheel. Then I thought, how does a computer just all of a sudden switch its boot devices in the BIOS? That happens, but not very often.
Right.
So I went, wow, that's weird. So I did a BIOS update, and the computer had like BIOS. It was a gigabyte, had BIOS like F4, and they had F10 out. I was like, wow, that's a lot of BIOSes in a year and a half. But so I popped in the new BIOS, updated it. Boom, all problems gone. It's been about 4 days. Computer's working like a dream.
Wow. Yeah, that's you don't hear that every day. Yeah, thanks for bringing that, Chris. That really sounds weird that it would be freezing like that from a BIOS update.
I'm wondering if it was always acting funny, maybe, and she just didn't pay much attention to it or tell me about it, because it was an AMD 3-core, and I remember back when you'd buy those 3 cores, some motherboards would take them, but remember they would say things like, you know, might not, you know, you have to do a BIOS update to see all 3 cores or something like that. But I was seeing all 3 cores in Task Manager, so I don't know, weird. All I know is did that, and the thing worked like a dream, and you know, knock on wood, it won't come back to me.
Yeah, well, that's something you really probably would not have got diagnosed and fixed over the remote job. You really had to go there. Now, a lot of these warranties, you said they're getting close to expiring. Did you offer, what do you offer, a 1.5-year warranty on a custom build like that?
No, it's a 1 year.
1 year?
Now that specific customer has recommended me to 3 people. So I did that job for nothing because she recommended me to 3 people. Usually I would charge for that job. Like I would give a break because they bought it for me, but it would still be a charge. That customer didn't charge anything, again, just because she's told 3 people that have called me and I've gotten business from. that's a lot of recommendations. I'm okay with giving this person some extra service.
And it was out of warranty at this point
Yeah.
when she called.
Yeah, yep, it was 14 months.
Wow, great story, Chris. Man, yeah, that's definitely something that you don't think of, a BIOS update. That that'll probably help somebody who listens to this podcast and comes across something like that down the road. And that's
So
something
weird.
a lot of people don't think of as BIOS updates, even as you're going day to day and like say your own computer that you're using or your own computer you built for yourself. You don't really think about it until you really need to, I guess. I don't anyway.
Yeah, plus all, you know what, who wants to do a BIOS update? I mean, gosh, I'm always so nervous doing them because, back in the day when you do them, it was like, come on, baby, don't brick your motherboard, right? Now it's a little bit simpler, a little bit easier, but still, I still got that feeling in the back of my throat every time I'm doing a BIOS update, like, you better go through, otherwise this is, $150 down the tubes.
Absolutely. Yeah. I know exactly what you're saying there. What else you got? You got some
Cool.
more good stories
Okay.
like that, Chris?
No, so that's it.
Aw.
That's my computer repair story, period.
Okay.
My other ones, just new stuff that I've been doing that I've been finding people want. Just to preface this, I do live in a fairly wealthy area. Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada is it definitely hasn't been hit by the economic times as bad as some places. So I'm definitely in a rich area. So take these next two for what you will. But what I've been selling is lots of Macs. So I've been trying to figure out a way because I get customers going, what about the Mac? What about the Mac? And I'm a Mac guy, but I'm also a PC guy. I switch back and forth like a crazy person, but I like to sell people what they want or what's best for them. And some people should have a Mac and not a Windows machine. Windows machines are fantastic machines, but some people should have Macs. And if a person really, really wants it, who am I to talk them out of it? So I've been trying and thinking and racking my brain. How can I make money selling a Mac? It's very difficult to buy a Mac and resell it for any profit because you can't buy them less than, everyone buys them for the exact same price. Except if you buy over a certain amount of money at an Apple store, an actual retail Apple store, and you have a business account, you start getting small percentages off the computers. So as of now, I've spent enough money at Apple that I get every time I buy something, I get a small percentage off the computer. So I get to make a little bit of money when I resell it. I'm not allowed to say how much because Apple's really harsh on that. It's not very much. It's nothing to get excited about. It's really, really tiny, but it's something. And so I've started selling a few more Macs. And I've actually sold 2 iMacs in the last month over Christmas. One was from the Apple retail store. And so I'm just going to sort of go over how I made money on the machine. What I did was sold them a Mac, and let's just pretend that, because again, it's so little that it's not even worthwhile talking about how much I made on the computer itself. I made almost nothing, but where I made my money. So I sold the customer the Mac. I told them I would deliver it to them. I upgraded the RAM from 4 to 8 gigs on them. Now, if you look at Apple charges $200 for that task. I did it myself. I picked up the RAM. I picked up 4 gigs of RAM for $30, but I charged the customer $200. And people were like, oh my gosh, $200. No, it doesn't matter. That's how they would buy it at Apple. So yeah, I'm just Apple, right? That's all I am. I'm selling the same price as Apple would sell them a computer. So I made about $160 there, $170 there, as well as moving all their data over. I charged $149 for a full data transfer. As well, I sold them a backup hard drive, which I made about $80 on.
Chris, can I ask you a question real quick? Were they going from a Mac to this Mac?
No, this is Windows to Mac.
So you did a data transfer from Windows to Mac. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, 149. Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, and the Apple makes it really easy. There's something called Migration Assistant that as long as both computers are on the same network, the Mac pretty much connects to the Windows PC via a small application you download on the PC and pulls over everything. Mail, documents, pictures, everything, and puts it in their correct folders. It does it just absolutely beautifully. Takes a little bit of time because it's over the network if it's a lot of files, but nothing too spectacular. So yeah, did that. It was again easy, just time consuming. It took me about an hour and a half to do it, and then set up their backup for them. And then the last thing I did was sold them Office for the Mac, which I buy from my wholesaler for about $89, and it retails for $150. So all said, I profited like $400 on it, which is no